Will there ever be peace? Or are we all just headed for doom? Still consumed by the beats, and I know there'll never be peace. That's why I keep my pistol when I roam the streets, cause there can never be peace.
Hayes Entertainment.
And we're joined from Prince from KC.
Rich Rube.
This episode, we got the rap legend from the West Coast, the Bay, Marvaless. Here we go.
If you like what we're doing, hit that notification button and that subscribe button.
What's up with it? It's your girl Marvaless, and you are tuned in to I Only Touch Greatness podcast. And guess what? I'm the greatest, baby.
Looking for the most beers on tap, great steaks, great staff? Head over to the John B. Pub.
We got the best beers, steaks, chicken wings, nachos in town. Come see us at the John B. Pub.
The John B. Pub, the best bar in town. Come sign up for our football pool. Say hey, sent you.
Back in the day, they used to say that I could be what I wanted to be. So now I live my life for me. Spit these bomb raps. I never thought a film of a sack could come up like this. But it's just more relentless. So feel me as I spit with this.
The number one sports podcast in Vancouver with Ryan Hayes and Big Mike.
Well, they got you all jocking, Marvaless, and screaming for some more. Guaranteed to keep your head bobbing, kicking back, or when you're mopping through the city of sack with your strap on your lap. Watch your back, but give me that because I always take the tight route. Sit back, I know you feel me now, so check it out. I'm just...
Watch me ride.
Ryan Hayes and Big Mike are taking over the podcast scene in Vancouver. Get down or lay down.
Now picture this, was born with this gift, 1973. Ripping this gift since back in elementary. Guaranteed to move ya. If you knew me back in the day, you know I schooled ya. Maintaining this gift non-stop, staying on top. We be the West Side players. SAC raised from the start. Now with six figures, pack much hard. Don't put it in the ace of spades. Ain't nothing like in black rage days. Now you see in my name every time you flip the page. Say the PH in, these hits we making. Moving past fools is faking. Straight got you by the
Ryan Hayes and Big Mike.
You can't find no more.
I Only Touch Greatness podcast.
Don't push the line no more. So everything just corrupted. All these stories that they tell, I can't trust it. I rock out with my day ones. Everything is mutual. Keep a couple more than theirs in case it get crucial. These crazy days we living in, got real ones giving in, collecting dividends, and don't look out for their fellow citizens.
I'm blessed. I can't complain.
This is
light in here.
I Only Touch Greatness podcast with Ryan Hayes and Big Mike.
So it's nice to meet you again.
Nice to meet you too.
I'm joined with my co-host, Big Mike.
Big Mike, nice to meet you, Marvaless. Thanks for coming on.
What's up with it?
And
how you doing?
Joined by Rich Rude out in Kansas City, Missouri.
KC in the building. What's up with it?
Blessings.
Right on.
So
y'all all the way live today.
Yeah, it's all a little bit. We like to bring in people from all over the place. Me and Mike are from Vancouver, and then Prince is out there in KC. I was telling these guys that I've actually ran into you before at the West Coast Hip Hop Awards.
Yeah,
with Octavius, and it was that year that it was like you, Sibo, Spice One was there, Cocaine was there. 2009, I believe.
Yo, man, y'all know what it is. Sibo, man, Big Sibo. I'm coming to Canada, man.
No, out from the U.S., Cocaine.
What's up, man? This boss lady, Fetty Chico, shit's new to like doing it real big, though, man, at the Hip Hop Awards.
Days got the basketball in my drawers. Now back on the street, my younger brothers calling girls. It's time to put the pants from the chamber. Niggas on the way, don't rearrange the race. The quickness, and the walk by sickness, they out of the head. So you better watch the back. See what got for scrap. Put the man down, about the jack. So you better back, rock it.
Right. Yeah, it was a bunch of us out there. I think they got that on YouTube.
Yeah, I have a pretty good video that we're gonna drop the highlight in here and put that into, which I took with my own camera from that day. So
okay,
pretty awesome. Basically, born in Sacramento, correct? What was life like growing up for you?
I'm born and raised in Sacramento. I think I probably had the typical childhood. You know, it was kind of rough. You know, survived a lot. Man, I got into music at a very young age, though. My love for music came when I was real young. So that's what I kind of used to keep my mind occupied. Yeah, but man, it probably was like the typical childhood.
So
when did you start rapping, and how did it all start?
I started rapping in 6th grade. Yeah, and that was when rap was really just first. Everybody was straight hip hop, break dance, and all of that. Yeah, that's when I first started rapping, and but I had already had a love for music. Huh?
Can you remember the first song?
I can't. Okay. That's like 40, almost 40 years ago. So I can't say that. I can remember some of my early raps, but I can't remember. But I know the group I was in was called the Penny Lovers. Yeah.
Okay.
What about
the
that
first
was back
song?
when Lionel Richie was out. So
Yeah.
he had that song. So yeah, that was the name of the first group.
What about the first song that made you fall in love with hip hop, that got you wanting to start it and pursue it?
That would probably be Rapper's Delight. Yeah. Rapper's Delight, and the one song I can't think of the message. I think broken glass everywhere, people pissing on the so back then, like when when I heard Rapper's Delight, I was like, I'm doing this, and I was like a kind of a quiet kid, so me rapping just came out of nowhere anyway. Yep.
Okay. So when did you know that you were good, and who told you that you were gonna be good? And like when you wanted to
who gave you the extra push to get there?
Well, I would have to say, like I did my first show actually in 6th grade with my sister. She was in junior high school, so I went into the show with her and her friends at her school. And once I saw that the crowd's reaction to it, I was like, oh. And then I had wrote all of our raps too. So once I saw the crowd's reaction to it, I was like, wow. I'm doing this. And then like from then on, I just always like that crowd, ain't nothing like that, that motivation from the crowd and people feeling your music. So I would think as far as motivation wise, I would say it was the people that enjoyed my music even back then, or my raps, I should say.
Okay. Mike?
Yeah. Who would you say the biggest influencer was in your career?
Wow, that's a hard one. There was so many people. I definitely got to give it up to MJ. I'm a big Michael Jackson fan. I would say, there's so many people. My mind is just straight blank. Of course, all the ladies that came before me, so many of them. You got I was back in the Finesse and Quest days, and MC Light, and all them. And then of course Yo-Yo came along, and man, it's just so many people that influenced me. Diana Ross, just a lot of different people, from all over the spectrum when it comes to music. So many different people. Tupac, of course.
Yeah.
But yeah, my younger years, it was more just my love for music, like R&B music and that type of thing, until I started rapping and getting into that.
So one question I got here is, how did you come up with the name, like Marvaless?
Actually, okay, well, my name is Marva Jean, and I this is actually an ongoing debate in my family, because like in elementary school, I got like straight A's and everything, so they started calling me Marvaless anyway. But I didn't pick up the name Marvaless as a rapper until I was maybe like the end of high school. So, but it initially came about from me getting good grades, so they would call me Marvaless, just to add on to the mark.
I like it. I like it.
Hi.
Thank you very much. Yeah, it just fit.
Prince, you got one?
Oh yeah, I got one. We was talking about a lot of stuff. We was talking about how was it like being a part of like the rap bass scene at that time, like getting your fresh start, and how was it like, with the radio stations, like pushing it, because y'all was pushing a lot with y'all's music in like trunk. You know what I'm saying? How was that at that time?
Well, we never really were too radio friendly as far as getting played on a lot on the radio. So all of our sales and all of that came from just, putting our feet to the pavement and getting out there and going state to state, because we never really had a big radio following, so that was never really a big part of our even our whole promotional thing, because they didn't play our music on the radio like that, it was a different time. So, now even on the radio, TV, you could say just about anything and they don't even bleep it out. But back then, I don't know if our music was considered too rough or what it was, but yeah, we didn't really do too much radio back then.
Yeah, and it was also a lot harder to engineer back then, where you couldn't just press the beep button or cut it out as easy as you had to. You actually had to run it back.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that's for sure. When did you first meet Sibo?
I met Bo when I was probably like 18, but I didn't know him personally prior to that, but I knew of him. No. But yeah, personally, I was around 18 years old. Yep.
Okay.
Maybe 19.
Okay.
Did you have many? Did you
when you first met Sibo? Did you first did y'all just come up with raps, or that before that?
Yeah, we did. It was instant, we had already been knowing each other all our life. It was just bing, just like that. Right. Everybody really in the crew.
And how was the chemistry, working with Sibo? Because y'all basically was kind of pimping the Jordan of the Bay, you know what I'm saying, with y'all's flow, especially with stomping on my steel toes, I can still get that on my head. And even though it was after, the original song, which what was the original song on? Was it what
the
album?
original was on Sibo's album.
Okay.
Yeah. And so then I came back with I want to say Tales from the Crypt. Don't quote me on that, but I think it was Tales from the Crypt.
Okay. And you've done many solo releases like Ghetto Blues, Just Marvelous, Wicked, Fearless. You did the Ghetto Blues 2001 as well. Which album do you stood out as your favorite?
I probably would have to go with Ghetto Blues, just because I have to pick. And that was my first, my first joint. I manifested a lot on that song. I manifested the song with Tupac, So I would have to say Ghetto Blues, but I really feel like I progressed as each album went along. So, but if I had to pick, I would say Ghetto Blues.
And that's what I find too with a lot of hip hop artists, or any artists in general. And I know when I used to do A&R work, that first album you spend your heart and put your whole heart into, and you're trying to make it perfect. And you think you might never have another album because you're going to have that one album that's always your perfect one, right?
Right.
You always work the hardest on your first. That's why they don't do sequels, like movies, even that are just as good.
I tried it.
How many interactions, and what were the interactions like with Pac? And did you ever meet Biggie?
Well, okay. Let's see. I actually did a show out here with Biggie in Sacramento. Oh, wow. That was, I think, 95 or wherever it was. Yeah, a whole bunch of stuff happened at that show. But so I did that show with him. I didn't personally meet him, but we did the show together. And then Pac, I was the biggest Tupac fan ever. I did Ghetto Blues with his album cover stuck to the thing, so I had reached out to Bo and them went out there, and they did the whole Trade and War Stories, all those songs. And they said they couldn't find me, back then it wasn't cell phones and all that really like that. So when they got back, they gave me his pager number, and I paged him, and he called me back, and he was like, just told me he had been slapping my music, and he was gonna fly me out there and blah blah blah. So he did, and the rest is history. And then I went back out there again with for a second time. So yeah, he was just like how I thought he would be. He was he didn't play. You couldn't get in the studio playing no games when it came for you to get in there and drop your verse. It was one take. You had one chance. So I'm glad that I was well versed in that area. And everybody that it was so many different stars that came in the studio, you know, and everybody that came in there, he made sure he let them know, hey, yo, this is marvelous. You know what I mean? It's dope. Change it up. You know, it was just dope, man. It was dope. And he was a wonderful person. Very motivating.
Ryan here is definitely the biggest Tupac fan in Canada. I mean, he named his dog after him. So
what?
Yeah, I
thought you was going to say the biggest Tupac fan. I was going to say now we got a problem.
No, that's what I named my dog Tupac.
I know, right?
Okay.
I was going to say, yo, I got that man on my wall for a reason too.
Right, I got him on mine.
Yeah, and my dog's name is actually Tupac. Oh, she cut out.
I think it's just frozen for a sec.
Yeah, is it on my end only?
I was about to tell her, you know, since we did interviews, you know what I'm saying? This is like another honor, you know what I mean?
Yep.
Because
yeah,
talked to Marvaless, you know what I'm saying? I got the chance to talk to Marvaless, Sibo. I can only say this, Richie Rich.
You manifested it.
I love it though. I love it though, because at the end of the day, this is about hip hop. You know what I mean?
Right.
And something about hip hop, like including you, like back in that era, yeah, you had Boss.
Mm-hmm.
You had not just Lil Kim and Foxy Brown. You also had Gangsta Boo, Mia X. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Silky Fine.
In that same category. Like, how was it?
Lady of Rage.
Lady of Rage, my favorite.
Being that Lady of Rage, you know what I'm saying? Like, so many, you know what I'm saying? Silky Fine. Like, how was it? You know what I'm saying? Because y'all was a beast at that time. Just keeping up the, you know what I'm saying, that golden era. How was it just being a part of that era that people wish they didn't have today?
It was beautiful. You know, at the time I was just living in the moment, you know, so I wasn't really tripping off of it like that. And I was a lot younger, but man, it was dope. One thing that I do wish could have been different was back then, a lot of the ladies didn't rock together. Like, I didn't do any songs with any female artists outside of Conscious Daughters. They was on my Wicked album. So unity wise, I wish there could have been a lot more unity amongst us back then, you know, because it's just very powerful, you know. And we all, like, most of them ladies you just named, I keep in touch with them. Well, not most of them, a few of them. So you never know, maybe you might get something in the future. Y'all reach out to them and be like, hey, Lady Rage, Mia X, Yo-Yo, Sugar T, Gangsta Boo. Y'all need to drop one track. You know what I mean?
Right. I can see that. I can see that happening, man. Call it lady soldiers, man. I can see it.
Most definitely. That might be something I try to put together.
Yeah, and you still stay in contact with Lady of Rage?
Well, I haven't talked to her. It's been a minute, since maybe like a year or so since I talked to her, but we do keep in touch from time to time. Yeah.
All right. Yeah, I know. I've been hounding her, trying to get her on the show here too. She's up there on my Mount Rushmore of women rappers, just like you are. And Silky.
Okay. Well, I do Marvelous Radio too. I took a break from it once I dropped this album, but I do Marvelous Radio. So she did Grace Marvelous Radio with an interview. So I'll reach out to her and see, you know.
Yeah.
You never know.
That would be awesome. And then in 2003, you returned to start. You put out the album Bonnie and Clyde with Messy Marv. What was it like working with him? And you guys known each other for a long time already ahead of that.
Yeah. You know, we worked together even prior to that. So it was just like, it took us like 3 days to do that album, truth be told. It was just one of the, I don't know, you know, with certain people, when you make music with them, it's just a chemistry that it's not forced. It's not, you know, it's just like, okay, boom, you turn the beat on, you come up with the idea and it's done. And that was one of those things. I came in there, he had his verses already done. So I went in there and knocked mine out, and that the rest was history.
Perfect.
Luke Messmar, man.
Yeah. Did you have a favorite venue you performed in, or a dream venue?
Not necessarily. My dream as far as being a rapper or an MC was to rap with Tupac. So I did that. You know what I mean? So yeah, no, I don't really have a dream venue, because I can't bring him back to life and have him come rock the show with me. So
No.
A venue in particular, no. I wouldn't say that.
It's so crazy ever since me and Ryan started doing this, and we've had on all these rappers like Richie Rich and Money B, and just to name a couple, obviously. But the Tupac stories we're getting, it like almost gives us goosebumps. And Busy Bone, like it gives us goosebumps just hearing the stories, because like the guy's a legend. The guy was the god of rap. So
yeah.
And that's one thing that we like about it. We always, even back in my A&R days, I always tried to work with people as get as close to Tupac as I could. And I'm trying to do the same thing now now that I got the podcast going. It's okay. I'm trying to get to everybody as close as I can. One day I'm coming for Mo Preem.
Yeah, he embodied the full essence of it, man. So yeah, that's totally understandable.
And you've also you were down with Mob Figures and the late Jacka. And and I've met Hustler personally. I met him personally. He came on a tour up through the Pacific Northwest a couple of years back, and I went down. I went down and see him. What was it like being in the studio with them, working on 3 the Hard Way?
Oh man, that was dope. You know, that's our Young Life. You know, that's Bo's young crew, which is, you know, we all family. So it was like I don't know. It's just something about all of us that was affiliated or under that label. We had a certain chemistry when it came to the music. So nothing was forced. It was just like pure, unadulterated chemistry. So working with them was just like working with Bo or working with Killer Tay or working with, you know, they a little younger, they, you know, a little more hyphy, but outside of that, the chemistry, everything was the same. Everything was the same. So it was definitely dope. And, you know, Jacka was one of those people that he always, he was very respectful. You know what I mean? So it ain't nothing I probably could have called him for or asked him to do that he wouldn't have done, just out of the respect that he had for me, you know, and Bo and the crew, and, you know, us in the older generation of where he came from musically. A lot of good memories.
And now you got a bunch of new rap stars coming up, like your daughter, Little Marvaless. Tell me a little bit about that.
Oh man, Little Marvaless, she's raw. You know, I like to say this all the time because, you know, you have our kids and we be like, oh yeah, they're tight, and yet she's ridiculous. And this is coming from me as an MC. Like she's raw, like super raw. And then, you know, she got her own swag. I mean, of course, she's my daughter, so she's gonna have my swag, of course, some of it. But she got her own swag. She's not all super. You know, I did all the super gangster stuff, so you know, she's just dope, man. I'm almost speechless talking about her. I'm a very, very, very proud mom. She has her own record label, her own clothing line. She dropped her first album, Daughter of a Legend. That's out now everywhere. Y'all go tap in with that. And she actually paid homage to me on that. She did my Fearless cover for the front cover and my Just Marvelous cover for the back cover. And she just happens to look exactly like me back then. So it's just crazy. It's kind of like when we do music together and stuff, or even just hanging out. It's like being able to be around my younger self. So it's kind of weird sometimes because I'd be like, this girl looks just like me. Thomas, just kind of crazy.
It's a mini you, right? It's your mini you.
That's what I call her, Mini Marv. Yeah.
And I saw your nice post for her today. It was good.
Hey Ryan, we gotta get little Marvaless on here too.
Oh, yeah, I know. We gotta get him on there, man. For real. Hey, and I'm the type of person to support everybody because that's what I do in the KC scene. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to Papa Willow, not RP, but Free Papa Willow. You know what I'm saying? For
right on,
and stuff like me and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? So you know, stuff like that. I love to support that. Cause I know she got to be a beast with it if she coming like Marvel.
Oh yeah, most definitely. She's raw. When y'all when we finish this, y'all go check her out on YouTube. But yeah, she's definitely got it. So yeah, and then she also you know, her being the age she is and having the business mindset that she has now to be an entrepreneur, you know, the game is a lot different. So it's a lot easier to have control of your stuff. So she's still learning about the process of that. But in learning, she's also putting that work in, man, Mia X, a lot of different people have tapped in with her about sweatsuits and are just supporting the movement, so that's greatly appreciated. She's on her way to the top, most definitely.
Perfect. And we'd like to get her on then too. Yeah.
Yeah.
Down the road.
It's gonna be like talking to a skinnier version of me. Y'all gonna be like, is this the same person?
If you could
put a dreadlock wig on.
I'm wrong with the plane. I'm wrong with it.
If you could sit down for dinner with somebody, dead or alive, who would it be? And I'm guessing maybe Tupac, but you go ahead and give her.
Anybody like musically?
Yeah.
No, it can be anything.
Have to be music.
That would probably be one of my parents. That would probably be one of my parents.
Okay.
Good choice. Good choice. Yeah. I always go with Muhammad Ali.
Okay. Yeah, Muhammad Ali was a solid guy.
Yeah, and my answer is always Tupac, of course.
Okay.
Or Seth Rogen, the actor. I'd like to smoke.
Oh, okay.
I'd like to smoke.
That would be a dope interview.
yeah, I'd like to sit there and smoke with him. Like that'd be pretty funny. Yeah.
I got one for you. Kamaya or Sweetie?
Okay.
Kamaya.
Yeah.
Cause Sweetie from my city and she ain't reached out to me.
Yeah.
No, I'm just kidding. I'm just more familiar with Kamaya's music than I am Sweetie.
Okay.
Yeah, so I would say Kamaya.
Okay. And didn't like 2016 on the hip hop honors that you was part of that? Was you like in the scene with the rest of the ladies on there? Because I'm pretty sure somebody said Marvelous was on there.
Which one are you talking about?
The one with Queen Latifah, and it was like
no Sugar T. I think Sugar T was on there though.
Okay,
but no, I wasn't. Mm-mm.
I swear I thought I heard somebody say Marvelous. I was like, oh shit, no shit. And they were like, yeah, Marvelous on there.
They probably said Marvelous should have been on there, but nah, I wasn't.
You should have, because you was part of that. Hey, I met you with all of them. You know what I'm saying? Because at the end of the day, shit, nobody could fuck with that fucking lyrical skill you had for real.
Right on.
Made us love West Coast over here, especially over here Midwest. We fuck with y'all.
Salute to my little sis, Madam Lynn, out there in KC.
There you go.
Shout out to her.
Yeah, we dropped an album together too called The Code. So if y'all ain't got that, go get it.
Yeah, what are you working on right now?
Right now, I'm working on this album with Lil Marv called Like Mother, Like Daughter. And I dropped that Champion. I dropped my my 10th album, Still Marvelous, last year. But the whole pandemic hit. So right now, the tour is getting set up and everything for that. I'll be in Oklahoma City on the 17th for the first annual Blaze Fest. I also started a film company, Southwest Films. So we got videos and movies and different stuff going on with that.
You're keeping busy.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah, most definitely. Got to, especially because like this time last year, I was on tour with Bo when all of this pandemic stuff hit. So we actually had to cut the tour short to come back. So yeah, I mean, I know it never stopped in the South, it kind of just stayed lit the whole time, but now stuff is a lot more open. And so these tour dates is picking back up. So I will definitely keep you guys posted on that.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Do you listen to do you go back and listen to your old music?
I do occasionally. My voice irritates the hell out of me. I was younger, so I was just like, yeah. I'm like, oh my God, why was I even rapping like that? Like that high pitched voice. My voice ain't changed. It's still the same, but I was more young and I was hyphy. And then I started thinking, back then when I was listening to Yo-Yo a lot, so she was rapping to that high pitch, her voice is like that. So I was like, okay, that's probably a piece of why I was rapping like that, but.
You can almost go back and remember, right? You can go back and remember where you were at that time where you were. Like, I know that all the old songs that I used to be a part of, that I can remember what studio we were at, where that song came out. You were just somehow remembering. It's been 10 years since I was doing music. Like,
yep. Yeah, I do occasionally go back and listen to it. Yeah.
Is there any?
What would you say your favorite song is of all time that you've been a part of?
I would have to say the song with Tupac, "Never Be Peace." Yeah.
Okay.
And also, man, you got the chance to work with Mac Dre, man.
Oh yeah, man. Yeah.
Name a good time, like a memory of Mac Dre. You know what I'm saying? The Mac.
Well, shoot, how that song came about was when he had got released from prison. He had everybody, all these different type of people trying to find me, you know, because he was out here living in Sac at the time. So he eventually got in contact with me. And he was like, I had to find you, Marvelous. I wasn't no other female rapper I was going to rock with on, you know, man. So it was a blessing, man. And he just like even going to his shows, like the whole energy of his shows was just like, he was definitely one of the dopest entertainers, man. Like it was just fun. It wasn't like one of them shows where you go and, you know, you standing there, you know, looking all around, you know, wondering who's going. It was just straight fun. And I don't care how cool you was or whatever. If you wasn't dancing at a Mac Race to show your bootsy, period. And that's even how it is now. You know, if you at the club, it don't matter if it's a gangster club or whatever kind of club. If they turn Mac Dre on, people gonna get to moving. Even if they just go side to side, you know, they gonna get to moving. So yeah, man, he just had a super dope energy. He always saluted me, and I'm definitely glad that he reached out to me for that song.
Do you have a go-to drink?
I like the clear Henny.
Okay. Okay.
You like that clear Henny?
Yeah.
Hey, stuff, right?
I mean, I like Hennessy, period, but I prefer the clear. But I don't drink Hennessy that often anymore because you know when you get older.
Tell me about it.
Now let me do my thesis. But when you get older, you know that sugar that's in that Hennessy is a lot more harsh than the clear alcohol. So I try to take things into consideration now, but I do still every now and then indulge.
Yeah, I'm 38 here, and I noticed ever since 35, you're getting hangovers for sure, and it's there's a lot of hangovers that come after that. Yeah,
I'm almost 50, so I ain't got no time to be playing.
yeah, exactly.
Do you? The other thing too. How was it working with Because you worked with Brother Lynch too. How was it working with him? Because and also some of that stuff that he said, man. What do you think about like some of the stuff he was saying back in them days? You know what I'm saying? Like that nigga was like babies and cut. You know what I'm saying? But everybody bumped it. You know what I'm saying? Like how you felt like just working with him? You know what I mean? And how
we did let's see, what is the song we first of all, I knew Lynch since way back before any of us dropped anything, but Lynch is just Lynch. You know what I'm saying? I never really tripped off what he said because I knew it was just, you know, the music he was making. He is one of the dopest MC, man. That dude was so raw with them, you know, just his flow pattern, his cadence, just everything. You know, you cannot take that from him. You know, of course his substance was out there, but that's just the kind of music he did, you know. So
a sports question for you. LeBron, Jordan, or Kobe?
Jordan.
What do you mean? All day long.
I don't even gotta think about that. Yeah, you know, I was a basketball player.
Oh, you were?
My daughter was a basketball player too. So yeah, I actually had scholarships for basketball, but I wanted to be a rapper. And then it's crazy because she did too, and she wanted to be a rapper. So, but yeah, I pretty much stopped watching basketball after Michael Jordan. I wasn't really into it like that, and that's a long time ago. But I definitely dig, Kobe Bryant was dope for sure, and LeBron. He's always slapping Bo's music when he's working out, so I know he listening to me too.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's fun.
What do you think?
Did you do anything with the West Coast Bad Boys too with No Limit?
Yeah, I did. Thank you.
I
got a gold plaque off that. That was dope. You know, back then, that was when P was around these parts real thick. So, you know, he rocked with us for sure. Definitely a dope experience. we did a few tours together back then and everything. So, you know, they kind of was like family to us.
What do you think of hip hop these days?
I didn't hear you. It froze up on me.
Yeah, somebody's did.
What do you think about hip hop these days?
I think that the essence of it is slowly dwindling away. And when I say the essence of it, I mean, you know, the essence of hip hop itself, you know, right. the DJ, you know, the turntables and mic, you know. I think it's becoming more about entertainment than actually where it started. I think that, of course, there's still a lot of dope artists that's out, you know, of course. But I also understand the power of music, period. Whether it sucks or whether I think it sucks or whether it's, you know, whatever it is, the music transcends and is timeless, you know. So this is a moment where we'll be able to go back in time and say, look at what the hell, you know, probably my daughter and them, they're going to go back like, God damn.
Because the music really evolves. It evolves and keeps moving. It's like, I was saying this to Money B last week, that it's kind of like the music you growing up and you're loving all this music that you're listening to. It's the music you started getting laid to.
Right.
You listen to that, and then that'll go. Now the next generation will always listen to that music that they started getting laid to.
Okay. Yeah. And then you never forget the music that your parents and them used to listen to when you was a kid.
Yeah.
So that transcends down to your kids. But yeah, that's why, music is definitely timeless. And I'm just thankful to be I'm celebrating my 27th year from when I dropped Ghetto Blues. So I'm thankful to still be rocking and still be getting paid. I ain't had a regular job in 27 years. You know what I mean? So I'm blessed and so thankful that 27 years later, people still remember me. 27 years later, I still can get booked. 27 years later, I can introduce my daughter to the world. You know, it's a blessing, man. It's a blessing.
And it comes from being consistent.
Exactly.
You've been consistently good your whole career, so there's no reason for you not to be getting booked right now.
Unforgettable.
Exactly.
Right on.
Who do you think's the best rap group of all time?
The best rap group. Interesting. Gosh, you had NWA.
How about top three?
Yeah, Mob Figures. You had Onyx. I don't know. That's a hard one.
Yeah.
If I just had to go right off the top of my head, because I can't even really think of a rap right now. Huh?
They sleep on Onyx.
Yeah, Onyx was dope. You had Naughty by Nature, man. That's a lot of them. But if I had to think right offhand and just based off of the impact that they had on me, I would probably say NWA. Because I can remember like when that album came out, what I was doing, everything, and just the impact it had on me as an artist. Because, you know, back then, that's when music took a turn then. You know, if you think about it, because prior to that, it was X-Clan and Fight the Power. I can't even think of it. That's goddamn shit. You know, what's the name of them? Public Enemy, and you know, it was that's the type of rap that was out. So once NWA hit, it kind of changed, you know, as far as the content. So yeah, I would say probably NWA.
Do you have a favorite movie of all time?
I really like Planet of the Apes, the one where he really couldn't talk yet. The one where he was like, no, and that's all he said through the whole movie. Yeah. I have to watch that movie like 100 times in a row.
And I'm 90% sure that was filmed up here in Vancouver.
Say what?
Yeah.
I didn't even know that. Yeah, I love that movie. But I don't like the ones when they start making them to where he talking and all that. Just like now we got fucking my favorite cartoon, which ended up being my daughter's favorite cartoon, Scooby-Doo. Now he can fucking talk. I don't want to see Scooby-Doo talking. I mean, he holds full-fledged goddamn conversations.
Right.
What am I going to watch it for? Yeah. Now Scooby-Doo like, what's up with it?
Right.
I ain't messing with this new
food. You used to always say, that's all.
Yeah, or he can, you know, like Raggy, you know, that's it. Now he just talks. So I don't even know how I start talking about that, but anyway.
Yeah, if these young kids went back and looked at the music that was made back in the day, half of rap music wouldn't even be allowed to come out. Like that's this whole next generation coming up. It's kind of I kind of fear for them.
Yeah, and it's like a lot of these younger artists, they just have absolutely no respect for the older artists, but a lot of things weren't taught, so that's some of it is understandable, but it's like they just think that they got to this plateau without the fact the people that came before them laying that foundation. We wasn't jumping on the internet just dropping shit and then people may start to we was out there going state to state pounding the pavement so that now when it is to this point it's easier for these younger artists. But they think that when you say that you want that respect, they think you mean like you supposed to say, "Oh my God, yeah, if it wasn't for you, I wouldn't be here." And thank you. No, it's not that. It's just that's one of the things that I'm really big on, and one of the things that I really try to embed in my daughter is about respect. Like we don't play them disrespectful games. We gonna always keep respect.
It's like what Tupac said. Ain't nothing like the old school. Like when Tupac said that, you know what I'm saying? He paying homage to people like that. I feel like they should do the same, for y'all, because at the end of the day, if it was for y'all, they could be saying that hooga booga sugar and the and all that.
Right, right. And you can talk your shit, because even though Tupac said that, he still talked this shit about the older rappers back then. But we knew the essence of who he was. You know what I mean? Yeah. And I'm able to distinguish hip hop in real life. And that's one of the things that's kind of hard for me still now too, because when I get to making a song or I get on a song with somebody, I'm ready to go in. Right. And I don't mean like talking about killing nobody or nothing like that, but I'm an MC first, so you got to say some wild shit.
I always go back to back in the day, taking the CD player and having the tape deck on the bottom, and you had the CD player, and you had to cue up the spot where you wanted to drop the line from a different song on the CD. Man. And then we were running it back and forth and hitting the pause button, and you're running it back on the tape, trying to make a tape with like 100 different clips.
Right. That's how I first recorded, in the closet with the tape deck.
Yeah, that was what I did.
Had the two sides on it, and you record. I'm like, yeah.
And you had to put the little strips over the tape, the holes at the top, so you can record on the tape.
Yeah, it was good old days.
Yeah,
well, absolutely. Those were the good old days. Those were the best days of rap. That's for sure.
The best.
Hey, Marvaless, we can't thank you enough for taking the time for us today and coming on and chat with us. We're big fans of yours, and we will be forever. And we really appreciate you. We really appreciate you taking the time for us.
Most definitely. Yeah, y'all follow me everywhere online. It's The Real Marvaless, Marvaless. That's Instagram, YouTube, SoundCloud. Everything is The Real Marvaless. Man, salute to my crew, West Coast Mafia. Sibo, Brick Bro, salute all day. Killer Tay, Looney, Coleon, everybody. T Nutty, Pizzo, La Rue, my whole squad. Y'all know how we rock. Salute to Lil Marv, Daughter of a Legend is out now. Make sure you cop that. Salute to my other crew, the fam, the official Dirty Don, Mac Rain, Big Twan, West Coast Offense. Everybody rocking with us. Thank you so much, y'all, for supporting me these 27 years. I ain't written nowhere. My album, Still Marvaless, is out now. Make sure you tap in. Love you guys.
Yeah.
Woo! Legend.
Perfect. Thank you very much for taking the time.
Thank you for having me. And you know what? I will be touching KC pretty soon.
Yeah.
Okay. I invited you to Royalty Rules 816. And I'll pump it.
Yeah.
For sure.
And he's
really I definitely want to get Lil Marv on. So I'm gonna be tapping back in with y'all.
Prince is really
please let us know. We'll get little Marv on right away. Let us know.
Right, let us know. For real, we'll do that shit.
No, and I actually think it's dope too how you guys have different. It ain't just one person. That's tight.
Yeah, we're just me and Mike are in Vancouver, and then Prince is down there, and Prince is really good at doing all his promotional stuff and everything you need. So if you'll see what he can do after this, and then I'll do the video and I'll get it back to you within the day or so.
If you're looking for a mug, perhaps a hoodie, head on over to IOnlyTouchGreatness.com.
Looking for the most beers on tap, great steaks, great staff? Head over to the John B. Pub.
We got the best beers, steaks, chicken wings, nachos in town. Come see us at the John B. Pub.
The John B. Pub, the best bar in town. Come sign up for our football pool. Say Hayes sent you.